Are you ready to be great? Stop letting self-doubt, insecurity, and fear prevent you from building your business. This morning, wake up to success. Here's John Preston.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Wake Up to Success. A couple days ago, I was having a conversation with an old college roommate of mine who basically was born an entrepreneur. Ever since I've known him, and that goes back to elementary school, he always had an idea of some way to make money, some business to build, and some way to move forward to success. Well, we were kind of going through some of the people we knew, and I was sharing some of the things that I do with this podcast and other coaching opportunities I have. And we were talking about how many business owners need help. How many business owners are very, very good at what they do, but not very good or very knowledgeable about running a business doing it. And I referred to these business owners as entrepreneurs because in my mind, you either have an entrepreneur mindset or you have an employee mindset. And he said, well, unfortunately, I don't know that many entrepreneurs. What I know are a lot of self-employed people who are stuck in dead-end jobs. And that really hit me because I see that on a regular basis. I firmly believe that when somebody starts their own business, almost always, they have dreams of great things. They plan on building this empire and having this success and being able to retire early and buy a home in Florida or, travel the world. And what happens is they get stuck in a rut because they're afraid of doing the things that are required to take their business to that level. A while back, I was meeting with the owner of an appliance store, and we were talking about some advertising options for him. And he wore as a badge of honor that he's been in business for 40 years and had never advertised. And this was something he was very proud of because he had built this business without ever advertising. And then the phone rang and he had to stop talking to answer the phone. And a customer came in and we had to take a break while he went and waited on the customer. And it just occurred to me, what he wore as a badge of honor could be the very reason that 40 years into his business, he's still the guy answering the phone. He's still the guy waiting on customers at the front desk. Now, if I could rewind 40 years and look at him when he first opened that store and ask him what he planned on doing 40 years later, I would almost bet his plans for the business included, by this point, he would have either sold it off or he would have had other people managing it while he was living a retired life of luxury. What happens is we get stuck in a dead-end job, even though we're self-employed, unless we're willing to take the chances. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner and trying to decide which one of those you are, if you're an entrepreneur that's building a business, or if you're just self-employed, stuck in a dead-end job, I would ask you three questions. First of all, do you have a business plan? Do you have the growth of your company mapped out, where you want it to be, how you want to get there, and what steps and improvements you have to make along the way? Or are you just going day to day, month to month, year to year, doing the same thing you've done before, hoping for different results? Second question I would ask you is, do you invest in yourself? One of the things I see all too often is business owners get so busy doing their business that they never have time to improve their skill set or think about their business. So one of the things that is very important is you invest in yourself because you constantly keep moving forward. If you're not growing personally, your business isn't going to grow because the world around you is evolving and changing. Do you go to conferences? Do you sign up for educational classes? Do you, touch base with other people in the same industry and compare notes and see what people are doing differently than you are? Do you hire a coach to help you through your business? Do you invest in yourself? And then the third question I would ask is, do you invest in customers? I'm always amazed when I talk with business owners how few of them actually invest in customers or even know what the cost of acquisition of a customer is. How much does it cost you for every new customer you get? Because if you are not spending money to attract customers, then you're also stuck in a dead end job. So many business owners in today's world assume what I call the field of dreams approach. If we build it, they will come. And they launch their business without any clear idea how people are going to find out about it, what people are going to think about it, why people are going to choose them over their competitors. No thought is given. Interestingly enough, years ago, when my mom and dad started their travel agency, they went to the bank for a loan because that was back in the day when you had to get these expensive printers to print airline tickets and all sorts of equipment that you had to have in the travel business. And so they went for a loan. And before the bank would even think about giving them a business loan, they had to present a full-fledged business plan. It had to include at least 5 to 8% of their revenue in marketing and advertising because the bank knew that if that wasn't part of the plan, the business had very little chance of succeeding and the bank had very little chance of getting its money back. Unfortunately, because of a lot of changes in the banking industry, that's no longer required by most banks. And so people don't have that built in from the beginning. It does no good to invest in equipment. It does no good to invest in vehicles if you do not invest in getting customers. Because without the customers, the rest of it's meaningless. I hear all the time about businesses that advertise a lot. Well, of course, so-and-so can advertise. Look how much money they've got. Look how big they are. But what those people fail to realize is those businesses that are spending a lot on advertising, that are investing a lot in acquiring their customers, did that when they couldn't afford to do it. They did it, in some cases, had to borrow money to do it because that's what it takes when you're getting started to get your name out there and to build that momentum. So are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in your customers? Do you have a business plan? And then finally, are you investing in people? As you grow your business, if you want your business to succeed very early on, you need to identify the things that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. There's accounting jobs that have to be done, taxes that have to be filed, and all that. Hire an accountant, contract with an accountant. You're doing busy work. Remember, you're the owner of this company. You have skills that no one else can bring to the table. And you are spending your time on tasks that you can get people for a very, very low wage, most of the time, even part-time, to handle. Are you investing in people? Because if you're not investing in people, if you're not investing in your customers, if you're not investing in yourself, if you don't have a business plan, it's very likely that you're not an entrepreneur, but you're just self-employed working for a dead-end job. Change that. Make the commitment to be an entrepreneur and do the things you have to do to get to where you wanted to get to when you started, because that's what owning a small business that you hope to become a mid-sized business that will one day be a large business is all about.